Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fancy That Podcast. We are your hosts, Ashik and Ishti. We will be talking about how to attract the man of your dreams in this episode. Someone actually
Yep.
told, someone actually told that to attract a man, the woman goes with the element of sexuality, and to attract a woman, the man goes with the element of emotionality. So, Ashik, what do you think? How do you feel about this topic?
Well, this is a very important topic, like always. In our previous episodes, we talked about like how if you're a guy, how do you attract a girl? Now we're talking about the exact opposite thing. If you're a girl, how do you attract a man? Now, well, there are a few things that is common to both guy and girl, whatever you want to attract, is that you have to know exactly what you want. Okay, so in our previous episode, I talked about that you need to write down a list of qualities that you want in the person that you want to attract. That applies to both guy and the girl. Well, so that's the first thing that you need to know. So if you know what you want to attract, or what kind of person you want to attract, or what kind of characteristics you want in a certain person, then the next step is that you have to become that kind of a person. Now, by that I mean, so if you want to attract someone who is ambitious, if you want a guy who's ambitious, who is goal oriented, then your task is to become someone who is also goal oriented. And that is because that would increase the chemistry between you and the person you are attracting. Well, that is because like attracts like.
Yeah,
If you want to call that law of attraction or whatever you want to call that. The point is, we sort of fall in love with the mirror reflections of ourselves. So if you're someone who love yourself, then you would probably love someone else who is similar to you, or who has some similar characteristics to you, vice versa. So if you want to attract someone who is ambitious or goal oriented or pursuing his dreams, you have to be someone who has those qualities. So try to cultivate those qualities in you. The other thing is that you have to at least understand how that works. If you might be someone who is not really goal oriented, but you want a guy who is really goal oriented, then you have to have that understanding within you that you should give him the space or freedom to pursue his goals and dreams. And that is important because in the future there might be situations where he's talking about his, let's say, some crap that you had to go through in his office. And if you're someone who don't appreciate that and don't understand how hard he's working or what his goals and dreams are, then it would be a high probability that the relationship won't last. He
and
won't be happy with
it would
you.
be a very selfish of you.
Exactly. So that is one thing that you need to understand. Now, if you want a specific thing to know when you go to a date or something, but before going to a date, you have to actually have the courage, a minimum confidence and stuff to talk to someone you like. This is not just an inherently male, alpha male characteristic that going and talking to someone you like. It can be also a feminine characteristic. So if you like someone, just go and talk to that person.
Yeah, that's a
And
must.
that shows you have a little bit of confidence and you are interested in that person. And if you are a little bit confident, then there is a high probability that you might attract someone of that characteristic. Let's say if you are a confident person and you go and talk to a guy and he's not that confident, he's like a beta male, then he would sort of be driven off by you. Then you would probably know that he's exactly not the right person for you. So that's also a plus point of going and talking to someone whom you're interested in. And so you have to exactly know what you want and go for what you want. Now, let's say if the guy is approaching you, then how can you get him to be really interested in you passively? The thing that you have to understand is that most guys who are quite ambitious and goal oriented, they have stuff in the back of their mind um, related to their work and goals. So you have to understand that if you can make his life easier, then that is a plus point for you. For example, he might be worried about his job, his boss, and his business and stuff like that. Now, if you can share his whatever he wants to talk about, if you can share his ideas, if he can feel comfortable sharing his ideas and interests with you, that would be a very good plus point for you. Even if you are not an expert in his field, even if you are not a business person or something, but if you show some interest in whatever he has to say, that would be a strong plus point for you. So you have to make it easy for him to approach you. Most of the time ladies like to play it hard and stuff. Okay,
Okay.
you might be someone who might be interested to test out your guy whether he's the right person or not. Obviously,
That's very
I
common.
recommend you do that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are really interested in that person, then you have to make it easy for him to approach you, not to get intimidated by you. Okay, so that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Now, I will forward this to Ishti. He's gonna tell you a few concrete things that you can actually do when you go to meet that person, or shall I say, there are things that you should not do. The first thing that you should understand, that you should be natural, whatever you are trying to do. So in order to be natural, you need to know certain things that you should not do. So Ishti is going to mention a few of those.
All right, all right. So for the don'ts, what I personally think, and I've seen many people with the similar desires, as the number one being wearing too much makeup. Man, you can't wear too much makeup. That's like you're hiding your original look. You're hiding yourself from the guy you want to attract. So just imagine, in a few months or in a few years, if ever he gets to see your original face, he's not going to recognize you, and more so, even he might run away, yeah, being scared. And number two, being overstyled as in whenever like he's meeting you, uh, maybe you guys are going out on a date, on a simple date, and you overstyle yourself. You wear dresses, you wear gorgeous dresses, you wear wigs, you change the color of your hair. Maybe you're from a region where people are usually blonde, you change the color to black. Or maybe you're from a region where the girls usually have black hairs, and you change the color of your hair into blonde. That's going to actually repel the guy off from you. As Ashish said, it's always about being original. And talking about original, you should also not do, that is my number three, wear fake things as in maybe eyelashes, fake nails, and fake wigs, fake hair, wigs, and all. That's just going to give you a different look, not the look that he falls for. And when talking about fake things, there's a certain thing that you should also maintain: wearing too much perfume. You should never wear too much perfume. And what I feel is it goes for both guys and girls. Wearing too much perfume is not going to just repel the guy or girl you want to attract. It's also going to repel your friends and other people from you, right? Just imagine you're far away in a road. You're coming towards your guy and you smell too much that um, he smells you from that far away. When you just imagine when you get close to him, he's not going to take it lightly, and he might not be able to absorb all the perfume. So he might decide to maintain distance, maintain social distance away from you. That's a good. That's an excellent repelling off from a guy. So yeah, I think you should always show your original self. If a guy actually falls for you and falls for your original look, then that's the guy you want to stay with. And talking about guys, as Ashik said, there are different types of guys that you can attract. So Ashik, do you think there are any other types of guys that our girl audience, our woman audience should take care of?
Well, in my experience, there are only two types of guys: gentlemen and fuckboys.
Okay.
So, if you're someone who's trying to attract gentlemen, I talked about it already. You have to be original. Honesty is the best policy. Now, Ishti talked about a few things about wearing fake stuff. Well, we're no one to judge, because you might be interested in someone, a guy who might be interested in role play and cosplay stuff. So obviously go for that. But it totally depends on the guy you are trying to approach.
Yeah, that's my point.
Okay. So now, if you are interested in someone who is a playboy, you would understand that what he desires. And if you're also interested in that sort of stuff, obviously go for that. But the first thing that you actually need to do is to know exactly what you want. The problem is, if you do not know what you want and then you fall for someone, for example, a playboy, and you are not interested in that sort of a relationship, then you will probably suffer.
Yeah.
It would be hard for you to get out of it. Might be a what do you call that? Toxic relationship.
Yeah, toxic. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Sophisticated.
So exactly. So you have to know exactly what you want before you go into a relationship. Take your time. Be patient. The longer you wait, the hotter you date. And make sure to be honest and original. One thing that in the end we'd like to mention is that the characteristic of being talkative. Okay, so you have to talk to the person you are dating, but do not be over talkative. Or by that I mean, let's say the guy's having a bad day in his office and he's trying to share what he's going through. Usually guys don't, but if he's trying to share his stuff with you and you are talking about your nail,
what your friend did, blah, 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 and so on,
then that would be a major turn off for the guy.
Definitely.
So, but on that note, you have to it is not wrong to talk. It's, for example, if you're on a date, the guy is asking you questions, he's talking 20% of the time and you are talking 80% of the time. That is good. That is not bad. But in certain situations, when the guy is trying to share something with you, let him talk. And at least and understand what he's trying to say, and like, you know, the stuff.
Yeah, it's all about mutual respect.
Exactly. So I hope today's episode helped you in some ways. If you are actually trying to approach someone, in the end, I would like to mention one thing, that dating and attracting someone is a numbers game. It's like anything else. It's just a numbers game. If you approach 100 men, you don't have to approach 100 men. 100 men will approach you. If you talk to 100 men, then there would be a high probability that you find 10% of the guys that you are interested in, and out of the 10, you might have one who is actually interested in you, and that might turn out to be a good relationship. You might not even have to go through 100 guys. You can, the first guy that you meet might be the one, who knows. But it is always wise to know what you want beforehand, so that whenever the guy approaches, let's say 10 guy approaches, you know exactly whom you want, what you want, and whom you want to do it. So that being said, I and Ishti will see you in the next episode